Hi everyone and welcome to Club 2 episode 29 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we have 2 episodes left of this season and 2 episodes left of our time with the Connah's Quay Nomads in the Welsh Premier League. We are going to be leaving at the end of the season. The club don't know that at this point, but we will be. I think I've basically taken them as far as I can. We've won the Welsh Premier League last season. We qualified for Europe, which was quite some attempt at the beginning of last season to get into the actual proper competitions, having gone through qualifying. Didn't quite work out for us, but we did have a good go at it. We're going to qualify again. You can see that we've got 10 points clear of Cardiff Met in 4th place, and that was partly because in the last episode, what am I talking about? In the last game that I played, we beat them 1-0 in the league. Now that was the game I was due to come back to play in this episode, but I've kind of switched my allegiance from the Premier League to the Welsh Cup competition. I think we're pretty solid in our 3rd place. I think that we could potentially catch the New Saints, but I'm not sure that we will. We've got a couple of tough games still to play, including Barry Town in the last game of the Premier League season, and they sit top of the league. So I think it's going to be quite tough to finish in 2nd, but we'll give it a good go. But we now find ourselves in the semi-final of the Welsh Cup competition against, again, Cardiff Met Uni. And Barry Town have already made it into the final. They've played a slightly earlier game than we have, and they're already into the Welsh Premier League final. So that's who waits to meet either us or Cardiff Met Uni. And that's the game that I'm going to play today. And if we get to the final, next episode, I will play that final match. If we don't, I'll play the final match in the Welsh Premier League against Barry Town. And tomorrow, we'll talk about what's coming in terms of what our next steps are going to be. So that's what's to come in the Premier League and the Welsh Cup. As I say, Cardiff Met today and Barry Town tomorrow in tomorrow's episode in one form or another. You have to tune in tomorrow to find out which way it ultimately goes for us. In terms of anything else, at this stage, leaving soon and being so far into the season, there's not a great deal more to tell you about, really. You can see that we've left them in a very good financial position, and we will qualify for Europe again in terms of another qualifying round, which will again give them another payday, which helps the coppers of the club, as it were. So I think we've done a very good job there. The team that we've got, there's 1 or 2 dissenting voices at the moment. Nichols isn't particularly happy, having not got the required game time that he wanted. Pritchard similarly is a little bit unhappy because he sits behind Leo Smith in the pecking order. So there's 1 or 2 players that are not overly happy, 1 or 2 contracts that are causing a few issues. But in general terms, this is not a bad side that we've put together, having won the league last season and finishing at least 3rd this season. So I think we've left them in a pretty good position, and we'll see where they go in coming game episodes. We'll check in on them occasionally, and we'll see where we end up. But yeah, most players, all players are currently fit, which is good. We've settled on our basic first choice 11 for this game. It's an important game for the semi-final of the Welsh Cup competition. A slightly smaller bench than normal because the Welsh Cup only allows 5 subs rather than 7. But what that means is today's team for the Welsh Cup semi-final against Cardiff Met Uni is Fuller in goal, Harden at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, Hazel, Rogers and Smith in central midfield with Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left and Bussenbrew up top, with a bench of Hope, Nichols, Evans, Fenlon and Rickards. So let's get into this game and see what happens. So I've passionately told the team that I expect them to come back after this game as finalists. I'm putting the pressure on them today to succeed. There's no reason why not. We did, after all, just beat Cardiff Met Uni in the previous match that we played in the league. So that's a hope and encouraging team talk for them. So we're in our black and we are away from home, unfortunately, but that's just one of those things. And Cardiff Met are playing a 4-5-1, and that doesn't mean a thing when you go over the top of the 5 in midfield, put it into the path of Busumbru, and clinically he smashes it past the goalkeeper for a 1-0 lead after just a minute of play. So Rogers on the ball, puts a lovely ball in. Goalkeeper doesn't really commit himself to coming out and getting it, and Busumbru finds it at his feet and makes no mistake for a 1-0 lead. So yeah, as I was just about to say, Cardiff Met playing a 4-5-1, quite a flat 5, but if you go over the top of them, it negates the 5, doesn't it, really? Smith on the ball, bit of a judder there, that's interesting, doesn't usually happen for me. Owens on the ball, runs right into the box, nobody challenges him until Williams does, and after 9 minutes we've been given a penalty, a chance for Busumbru to make it 2 so early in the game, and maybe even see this tie out early in the game, and he makes no mistake. What a smash of a penalty that was, a real boot of a penalty that, and we take a 2-0 lead in 9 minutes of the match. I'm kind of quite stunned by it, really. I think we've obviously started amazingly well. The 2 highlights that we've basically seen led to 2 goals for us, and Cardiff Met seem to be sinking without a trace at this point in the match. There's still plenty of time to come though. Corner comes in for them. Good clearance by Bentker, and it's Sarmento that picks up the ball. Can he run out the defence? He chooses not to, and it's a bit disappointing, isn't it, really? We should have taken our time a little bit and settled into that particular moment of play. But we regain possession in midfield, and can the lads actually take their time, settle into the play, keep the ball, make Cardiff Met chase some shadows? And so far it's going okay. Sarmento makes it to the top of the penalty box, into the box, and has a go at goal, and a combination of woodwork and goalkeeper and defender eventually get it cleared. But we are on form and on fire today. It's going very, very well. You can see that the match stats for the game suggest that we're having much more of the possession, which is great. Always encouraged when we try and slow the pace down a little bit and use the ball well. Harden with a really good challenge there and gets an opportunity to run down that right hand side, but comes up against a defender who clears the ball. But again, we get it back. Our 50-50 balls today are going in our favour, which is not always the way it's been in this particular save, but there we go. Today is a good day so far. Rogers out wide left to Rowlands, picks up the ball. Is there somebody in the box for it? And there is. It's Sarmento, and he puts it just narrowly wide off that header. Really good cross in by Rowlands though, and again we look dangerous coming up to the end of the first half, and it's gone very, very well, and it's gone even better, and it's been disallowed. Thought it might have. There was probably an issue with the ball back out to the player taking the corner kick. I think he might have been offside there, but yeah, unfortunate, but showing again that we're very dangerous. I'm absolutely thrilled by this. At half time we're going to be praising them to the hilt because they've done so well, and Busumbru gets a chance for the hat-trick and makes no mistake about it. At the end of the first half, that last couple of opportunities that we had where he had to disallow a goal, and now this one, and he finally makes his hat-trick count, and it's a lovely sweeping ball out to Sarmento. What a great cushioned header that was by Sarmento in the path to Busumbru, and he makes no mistake, and he gets a first half hat-trick, and we go in 3-0 up at half time, and good luck coming back from that. I'm sure that's famous last words, and they will now, but I can't see it. I think we're doing so well. So all we're going to do is passionately tell them that they're doing brilliantly well. And then send them straight back out again. You can see that Rowlands has got a little bit less in terms of his conditioning, so we'll have to pay attention to that in the second half. But other than that, everybody's fit and raring to go again. I am a bit concerned about Rowlands. I think I am going to make a substitution now rather than waiting. Now, we don't have our left-sided option on in terms of Kerry Fenlon, but we've got Jake Fenlon today, and what I'm going to do is bring Jake Fenlon on and switch him with Sarmento and get Sarmento to play out wide left. As the more senior person, hopefully he'll do a better job of it, even though they're both right-sided players really, but it has unsettled the balance of our side, and Cardiff Met get into the box, but they fire it straight at Fuller. And that was a bit of an error really on their part, either side, and he would have been in trouble. But he stood up well and claimed the ball very nicely. And another highlight for them, they're just slightly creeping back in. And we're going to have to make a couple of changes in a second. First off, though, I'm going to give them a shout. And what am I going to do? I mean, we're really, really well up in the game. let's say concentrate. Just to get them to focus a little bit, and I thought that might overwhelm them. I did think that, but it was a chance I needed to take just to see if we can get them really focused on what they have to do. Couple of changes to make, and we're gonna have to. What we're gonna do? We're going to take Harden off down the right-hand side of the defence and put Nichols on, and we're going to bring Evans on to secure that central midfield and take Hazel off. And those are the two changes that we're going to make. And then for the last few minutes of the game, we're going to go defensive and try and keep possession of the ball and not give them a sniff at an opportunity. But having said that, they potentially have one here. They've gone all the way back to bring it forward again. They sweep it wide left, get inside the penalty box. Can we hold the shape and get something on the ball? We can't. And that's disappointing. It's been coming in the second half, hasn't it? And, all of a sudden, it's a little bit nervy. There's still enough of a gap, I think, but it's going to be a little bit nervy just for the next couple of minutes of the game. If they get another quick succession goal, then we might be in a little bit of difficulty. But we're in our defensive mode, so hopefully we'll be able to play it out now, keep the ball away from them, and we are doing it. Look at this. The time goes 92 minutes, and we are working very well to keep it, and we succeed. And Connah's Quay Nomads make it through to the Welsh Cup final, and we've got a tough opposition in Barry Town in the final, top of the league Barry Town, but nonetheless we got there, and it's been a brilliant run, so I'm very happy with that and the way that they've played. I'm going to tell them that and come back out again of the match day experience. But yeah, one last go at a bit of silverware, I would suggest. I don't think we're going to do it in the Premier League. We're slightly too far behind Barry Town, I think, but you never know. We've got to play them on the last day. But yeah, we get one real proper last go at another bit of silverware just as our last game for Connah's Quay Nomads before we move on. And I think that's a really fitting way to end our time there. If we could come away with a win, that would be incredible. Join me for tomorrow, though. We will now be playing Barry Town in the Welsh Cup final. One last attempt at a bit of silverware. So join me for that tomorrow. If you're enjoying the series, subscribe to the channel. If you particularly like this episode, I thought we played really well today, then why not click a like on it for me? It helps me get seen by loads of other people, which is great. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.